It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, it is.
Welcome, everybody, to day 4 of Paulette Becs' 12 Days of Wine Lives. Coming at you this evening from the house.
Front my tree.
I know, it's so beautiful. I
Thank
love
you.
I love what you got going on there today.
We got a real one that we went and cut down ourselves.
Festive.
It was so much fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hi, Carrie. Carrie's on.
Hello, all. I am going to bring up our live on my computer so I can see the comments today.
Oh, perfect.
I'm really, really excited about today's topic.
I know, right?
Yes.
So Bex, before we start, let me know what are you drinking over there, my friend?
Ooh, I'm really excited about today's drinks.
Yes, tell the people.
I'm going to tell all of the people. Okay, so I was looking at the liquor store the other day, and I was looking for like new wines to try because I kind of always grab the same thing because I know it's good and I don't spend the time to really read the labels. And so I was looking through the sections and I found this called Quora. And it's from Argentina and it's a Cab Sav. And I'm going to read you the back of this because honestly it could not suit our live any better. So it says, is having passion for what you do in life considered work? By day, we create this red with lush blackberry and plum flavors, brightened with a touch of mint. By night, we raise glasses to good food and fine company, always enjoying animated conversation. Quora wine, for those who understand the greatest accomplishments in life, is one's ability to enjoy it.
Love it.
Yeah, it's going to go wonderfully with today's talk on technology and relationships because it discusses conversation. So let me just pour a glass and see if it's any good.
Yes, I can hear, and I feel like we need to have a cheers to this one.
Absolutely. What are you having today, my friend?
I'm gonna let you guess.
Sangria.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being boring lately, but I'm so in love with this sangria, you guys. I got my husband to pick me up some more and the white version as well. So as the week goes on, I will be drinking the white sangria as well. But yeah.
Well, let's have a cheers first off.
Perfect. Yes.
Cheers to deliciousness. Let me see if this is any good.
Cheers to wonderful wine lives. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is smooth.
Carrie says, "Yay, my fix this year." We're her.
Oh, we love you, Carrie.
Love you, buddy.
Okay, so today's topic, technology and relationships. We're going to probably hit some serious notes. It'll be a little fun. And I find it really interesting because, so I saw a video on my news feed, and it was from Inner Light Media Group, and they were talking about sort of how technology can affect the mind, relationships, kids, all of that sort of stuff. And so we're going to touch on a few points that they talked about, but it really kind of made us think that it would be really great to talk about how our cell phones, which I'm using mine to record this, so I can't show it to you, how our cell phones actually affect the relationships that we have. So technology, specifically the internet, which is basically the television of the 21st century, it's pretty much what it is now, is turning into like a drug that yanks us away from the physical world. And I mean, this isn't to say that, yes, we need it for work, we need it for things that are very purposeful, and there's lots of things that we use it for that are meaningful and aren't necessarily pulling us away if it is our job or whatever it is. But if we're using it to just numb our minds and we're scrolling and we're doing different things, it's not always a positive thing, and it affects our relationships because we become addicted to this device. And it takes us away from basically the physical world, right? So it's pretty
I'm so
crazy.
guilty of this. I am very guilty of this. So my phone is like, and I always use the excuse that I use my phone for my business, right? So like I'm constantly talking to people online, and so I always have it with me and I'm constantly checking it. But there comes a point where when you're with people and you're having a conversation, uh there comes a point where you gotta kind of like put it away because subconsciously people feel so, like it makes people feel like they're not the most important person in that room, right? And really, like if you're in a room full of people that you're hanging out with, and there's like one moment of silence, and you grab your phone, you know what I mean? What does that say? Like you don't even have to say it out loud. It just automatically makes the other person like, oh, you know what I mean?
You instantly feel less important.
Yeah.
Like originally, you go out with your friends and you're like, I'm here to be with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm here to be with these people. And yet, every single person has their phone either on the table, they're on it, they're looking at it to show you something, whatever it might be. We are addicted to these devices.
Yeah.
And we become no longer the most important thing to that person in the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of this. And you know what? Like this is big confession time, would go to visit my family. And if they see this, they'll be like, oh my gosh. I truly am addicted to my phone. And it's a thing. It's real. And you whip it out. You have it all the time. It's dinging. It's going off. But really being mindful about like, why do I need it at breakfast time when I'm out visiting family?
Exactly.
Maybe I need to schedule a couple hours in the afternoon to go and check my messages and do follow-ups and those kind of things. Like if you're expecting a phone call, turn your ringer on. Because then it turns into like it was like a house phone again, right? And a lot of the time we used to leave house phones. If you're having dinner or you're doing different things, you let it ring and go to the machine.
Yeah, like when you think about it, remember when we were kids and there was no cell phones. We would walk away. We wouldn't even be in the house for the entire day and everyone survived. Honestly.
Exactly.
It was more challenging to like get a hold of people, or like if you were expecting a phone call, then you kind of had to stay around the house. But yeah, it's just so different these days.
For real. It's crazy. Like, and that's why I think this is so important, just like in the holidays, especially with children. Like, the holidays is a time to bring everyone together and just lighten everyone's moods. And if, like, that awkward silence that happens when you get together with family you haven't seen in so long, and you do the small talk, and then the small talk is done, and it's like, okay, like, what do we talk about now? And you get that awkward moment, and what do? You grab your phone, and it makes you look busy, right? And it's like, oh my gosh. And as I was like thinking about these different things, and when I listened to this video, it was just like light bulb, light bulb, light bulb, like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And I do this like you're out for dinner with a friend and they go to the bathroom. What do? You can't sit there by yourself. You gotta look busy.
Like, yeah, he says, God forbid you look up from the table and like see what's going on around you, or maybe like strike up a conversation with a stranger, or
Exactly. Like, what happened to people watching? Because that is fun,
right?
That is fun stuff.
You know what I think it is for me? One of the things that I find is that it's almost like FOMO. Like I fear that I'm gonna miss out on something. So the minute I get a chance, like the minute there's a lull in anything, I'll pick it up and like scroll real quick and be like, okay, what's happening? Did I miss something? And then when you stop and think about that, that's kind of sad. You know what I mean? Like my life is not important or exciting enough that I need to like go see what everyone else is doing.
Did I get a message?
Did I get a message?
Like, what? We don't need that. It's not that important.
Yeah.
But we can talk about this, and I can guarantee I'm still going to do it because it is
Yeah.
hard. And I'm going to
You're
work
human.
my butt off to break the habit. I actually did it today when I normally go to my mother-in-law's house to pick up my son. I got him from daycare, or picked him up because I worked a night shift last night. Went and picked him up, and I left my cell phone in my jacket pocket the whole time. Took my jacket off, put it to the side. I was there for maybe half an hour, and I thought about it a couple times. Went to like check my pocket. Oh yeah, it's not here. I'm not looking at it. And I did that today. I was mindful of that because why do I need it in that small moment that I'm picking up my son, talking about how his day was, how did he do overnight? Like, it's those little things that keep relationships stronger, right?
Yeah.
So it's a
Totally.
powerful thing.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to you recognizing it and powering through it.
Does anyone else notice? Like, we have quite a few viewers on right now. Thank you all for tuning in with us. It's a little like not as like jumpy exciting today, but it's very interesting, I think. Like, let us know if you guys find that you do this, or if you have kids that are a little bit older, are they always asking for your cell phone or their own cell phone? Do you limit their time? Is it like, how often do kids get it, right? So that was one big thing. So there was a really cool example on this video about experiment done with mice. So they took mice and they separated them into two groups, leaving one just as was, and the other one they did like multitasking stuff with. So like they did like a bunch of flashing lights that would mimic like going from the computer to your TV to your phone to computer, TV, phone, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then they took both groups of mice and let them go into a maze. Like it was like a challenge. And it took the mice from that were exposed to the lights 3 times longer to complete the maze than the mice that weren't exposed to it. And what they explained in that video that I watched was that damage that's done to our minds from that, because it's like high levels of dopamine or something that they talk about that our like bodies can't handle, especially in children, that damage is permanent. So that made me like go like, whoa, like what's happening to our critical thinking skills, what's happening to like just like our quick reflexes and everything on how to like problem solve and everything. Like it was just like, whoa, is this like, this is affecting us like on long term.
Yeah. Even like, especially with kids, and I don't know what you guys are like, but with my kids, it's so it's kind of like a treat for them to get to use their devices, right? So Grayson's got an iPad and he likes to watch like kids YouTube and stuff like that. But the thing that we find is that, and you know, like as parents, a lot of the times we'll let them use it if it's in like one of those times where you're busy doing something and you just want them to like stop bugging you. I am very guilty of doing it. He'll be like, can I play with my iPad? And I'll be like, yes, just go. Just do your thing. But then the minute that I go to that, okay, that's enough. Like he's been on it for like half an hour or an hour sometimes. When I go to take it away, it's a freaking meltdown.
Yeah.
Like I've done the worst thing in the world. And I think to myself, like, holy crap, dude. Like it's okay. It's just a device. Like you're gonna be fine, right? And the same thing with Montana. She's like, the minute she gets on it, it's like total addictive personality. Mm-hmm. Like she'll just like for her
speak to them and they won't answer. They don't even hear it.
And she doesn't like, we don't let her go on like the internet or anything. She just has games and stuff on her phone. And so, but she's totally like zoned in. And the same thing, even with her, she's a little bit older. Even with her, when it's time to get off of it, then like we're the worst people in the world. And then all my friends have a phone. I can't believe you're not letting me have a phone. And I'm like, You're 12. You're 12. What do you need a phone for? You don't need a phone. Okay.
Yeah, that's where parents need to hold their grounds, just like you do, because so many people find it like it's the easy way out, and it's like you avoid the meltdowns, the tantrums, and all those things. And like I know for myself, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll just give it back to you, and it's like, whoa, I'm the parent. I need to be able to deal with this meltdown
Yeah.
and move forward with it, because ultimately it is better for our children that they're not having that exposure.
Yeah.
And
Because
I
like
learned, actually, Mickey's on here right now, Miss Mickey. I learned so many mom things from her. Was to give warnings. So I do this with my son if he wants to watch like a show before bed or whatever it is I recently I've been doing 5-minute warnings. I actually haven't been doing TV the last like 6 nights. But prior to that, I was doing warnings. So I'd be like, okay, 5 more minutes, 3 more minutes, and sometimes it's like 10 minutes after I say 5 more minutes, but they still know that the end is coming. And by the time you're like, okay, 1 more minute, okay, it's time to turn it off, he's just been popping up off the couch and running to his room, and I'm like, did that
because
happen? Is that real?
yeah, you've given him time to prepare, right?
Exactly. Instead of just taking it away instantaneously, like knowing that there's gonna be an end to it. There's gonna be a, like, you don't get to finish your show to the end, or you don't get to maybe answer all your, like, if the kid's older, you don't get to answer all your messages, or
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm sure like they're good at negotiating. 2-year-olds are good at negotiating.
Tiny little terrorists. I say it all the time.
Yes,
Cheers.
cheers to them, because they're amazing and smart and wonderful, and oh,
And really, to be honest, they're the ones that could teach us a thing or two about technology a lot of the time. So, you know,
for real. I had no idea that like my son knew how to, on my phone, switch YouTube videos. He's 2. Pardon?
it's a whole different world out there now.
It's like you had this too much.
I know. But I was going to say also, so when it comes to like having a job, like these days,
Mm.
uh, so back in the day, I used to own a catering company. And the kids that so I had a bunch of people that would work like casual part time for me that would come and do, like they would serve functions basically. But back then there was no cell phones. But I can tell you as a business owner back then, if any of those kids would be, because I see so many people now, like around town, like at different young kids working, and they can't for 5 minutes put their phone down. Like it has to be, if they're working at a computer, it has to be like it's sitting right in front of them, in front of their keyboard, so that they can like look down.
Yeah, like face up. Like,
Yeah, and check what's going on.
did I
Or
miss that? Did I?
yeah,
What am I missing?
it's like it's for real addiction. It's crazy. Just to what happened to the days where like our kid parents used to like kick us out in the morning and like go play, go find something to do, and you had to use your imagination. Like
And like Saturday morning cartoons was a privilege.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
totally.
now in our house, like on the weekends and stuff like that, if the kids sometimes selfishly will want to sleep in a little bit, and they're still at the point where they're getting up at like the ass crack of dawn. And we're like, mom and dad want to sleep in a little bit. But and they know, so they'll come in and be like, can we watch the iPad? And we'll just be like, yeah, whatever, just go. And then like an hour or whatever later when we get up and we're like, hey, it's time for breakfast, like, or whatever, we're gonna, watch cartoons, even as a family or whatever, and it's time to put the devices away. Well, mother F. It's like the world is over. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Get over yourself.
So,
You know?
confession moment. I've done this too. So with like Kent working away, and there's no sub off of like who gets up with Caleb. Like sometimes my dogs get up in the middle of the night to pee, and then he's up to have a diaper change, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he'll wake up sometimes at 5 in the morning and walk into my room, blankie over his shoulder, and say, "Watch animals on mommy's phone," and I'll be like, "Yeah."
Because he's safe. He's with you. He's safe.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like, and then
It's
he just watches it on my phone in my bed, and I'm like, and then when it's time to actually get up, he's like, I'm like, okay, I'll make breakfast. We'll put animals on the TV. It's the exact same show that would go on to the TV, yet it's Meltdown Central because he wants it on the phone. So it's not even about the show. It's like the device that is completely addicting. Right? Yeah. So then I just take everything away and everything is shut off and he has to figure out his toys and play by himself.
Well, this is the same thing I do. I'm just like, hey, if you're going to have that reaction, and I say it all the time, like, if you guys are going to act like that when you're going to take it away, obviously you don't need it because it's causing you drama.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to stand strong as parents.
You can do it.
Yes.
Cheers.
And if we can't, you drink wine and you eat chocolate balls.
Oh, I got mine too.
So if you guys didn't catch our live yesterday morning, we made Nanaimo balls.
So good.
So, see, Paulette's are little bite-sized ones.
I cut mine.
Oh, you fancy.
Here's what mine looks like.
Okay, so mine are similar size, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They're really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, this was Paulette's idea to make Nanaimo balls.
That's what the inside
I
looks
was just
like.
on board because it was balls.
Balls.
And I don't actually really like Nanaimo bars that much.
Mm-hmm.
And these are deadly. Like, this is serious good, especially with cheers to that.
You know. Cheers to wine.
You don't like red wine and chocolate? I don't know if we can be friends.
Friends off.
Although you don't like red wine, but you're drinking red sangria.
I don't, but I love red sangria. Call me crazy. So,
right.
should we maybe do a draw?
I think so. Let's do it.
Do you think we've kind of covered what we wanted to cover on our topic?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't feel like we need to take a ton of time today. I feel like it's very much sort of a topic of just like, it just makes us think a little bit more of like, how are we raising our children? What are we exposing them to? Are we actually being the parent? Are we caving too much? And how are we acting with our family, especially with the holiday season coming up? Because we want to be present with our families, especially if it's people that you haven't seen in months, or even sometimes it's even longer, depending on how long you've gotten to see them, and really being present and even just acknowledging and accepting those little awkward moments, because that's where some sort of amazing conversation will eventually spike if we don't just grab our phones to avoid the awkwardness.
Right. Totally. Live in the present.
Like that invisible person.
Live in the now, my friends. Tis the season. That is my what do you call it? Message. Professional message to the world. Okay, so
we're gonna do a draw.
So yesterday when we did our whoever was watching our live last night or yesterday morning, let us know how you enjoyed it. Do you guys want to see more cooking shows with Becs? Because we had lots of fun. I had a great time. I think we should do it more often. But yes, let us know if you want to see more of that, and we will definitely cook something up for you.
We will.
See what I did there? See what I did? Okay. So, yesterday, the challenge for the draw was that you had to share with us one of your favorite, like what you guys love to make during the Christmas season, like baking wise. And then you got double entries if you actually shared the recipe with us. So we had a few people that shared recipes with us, so they got some extra names in the draw here. So,
and just remember, you can win more than once.
Totally can. Ready? It's a
wonderful time of the year.
Who? Leah Cousin!
Yay! Congratulations!
Congratulations, Leia. She shared a recipe for puppy chow, or she called it people chow. But I don't know if you guys have ever had that.
Mm.
Have you guys ever had puppy chow or people chow?
No.
It's delicious. It's like one of those like Chex cereal
Oh yes, I have.
snack. You can have like a sweet one or a savory one. They're so good. So, Leia, I will hook you up with a beautiful wine glass. And yeah, so what are we going to make the people do for tomorrow?
I think
Or
you
for
just need
tonight?
to like and share this because this is great information on relationships and technology during the holidays. And I think it's very important that this just gets, the word gets spread of just being aware of what we're doing. So like it, share it, love it. You can love it. You can wow it. You can laugh at it, whatever you want, but share
Wow it.
Wow it.
I like a wow.
And yeah, you can just, we'll be able to see who's shared it. And actually comment shared, because if you don't actually follow our page and your privacy settings are different, we won't know who shared it. So you need to comment on the video that you shared it as well. Otherwise, we may not see that you shared it.
Good call.
Yeah. It's not a requirement to say to comment that, but we might not be able to put your name in the draw if we can't see it. So
good idea.
That's the only little
Okay.
perk there. We're going to be back tomorrow.
Okay, so tomorrow at 10 a.m. we are back. And we're going to be talking to our wonderful friend, Janine, who we've had on in the past. I don't know, like how many months ago did we have her on? Probably
I feel like maybe like 2 almost now.
No, you know what's funny? I think it was like in the spring, actually.
I have no recollection of time.
Anyways, Janine
back.
came on. Yeah. She's going to come on and she's going to tell us about, we're going to talk about ripple effect and how she has created this like amazing space of goodness, and so many cool things have happened to her since we've talked to her last time. So we're going to talk all about that. Super pumped about that. So join us tomorrow is during the day at 10 a.m. And yeah, we will see you then, my friends.
Cheers, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, sticking with us. We love and appreciate all of you, and we're so excited to see who gets to be entered and wins tomorrow. And congratulations, Leia.
Woo-hoo! Okay, take him out, sister.
It's the most wonderful time of the year with the kids.